Hi, Tracy Fines here, 25-year veteran in the world of real estate investing. And on today's show, it's Flipping Thursdays, and I'm going to talk all about how to find amazing off-market opportunities. And you'll be surprised, I think, with some of the content that I'm talking about today, because it actually has a lot to do with the power of the law of attraction. So enjoy, and I will see you soon.
Tracy is an experienced investor and builder, published interior designer, and she has won numerous awards for design. Tracy is an award-winning author and international speaker who has been featured in international publications and on television. Having a zest for life, a love of great design, and an enthusiasm for creating beauty, she will uplift and inspire you to take massive action in your life to achieve your goals. And she wants to help you do the same. Please welcome Tracy Fines.
So today's presentation is, it's Flipping Thursdays, so welcome to Flipping Thursdays. And I am Tracy Fines, the Flipping Queen, and I want to share some really great content with you today and help you grow your net worth. And I like to do two types of presentations during my week, and that is one I do on Mondays, which is Mindset Mondays. And it is really true that when you grow and have, if you grow personally and you develop an amazing mindset, you can really utilize the law of attraction to bring amazing opportunities into your sphere. So that's on Mondays. I always talk about mindset on Mondays and how important it is to have that, use the law of attraction and have that abundance mindset. Just as an example, I'm going to talk today about how to find great off-market properties. And this is such a mindset issue. I can't help but bring in how that affects opportunity. Okay, and when I'm talking about how to find off-market properties, these are amazing opportunities. Okay, and if you have that law of attraction working for you, you're going to have these opportunities come to you. You're going to be able to perceive them. They may always be there, but you may not perceive them. And that's really the difference. When you developed your mindset, you see these opportunities. So it's really about your perception, what you're in tune with and what you're not in tune with. And so that's why I'm having a hard time talking to you today about how to find great off-market properties without talking about your mindset. A lot of my members and students come to me and say, there's no good deals out there. Like, how do we find a good deal? You know, the market's so hot, everything's like overpriced. And I said, well, that's your mindset, right? So if you don't think that there's opportunities out there, then there's not. But if you change your mindset and decide to do the work, to change your thoughts, change your habits, then you know that you have the opportunity then to attract great opportunities into your life. Sorry, I gotta turn that speaker off. So it's really a mindset issue, even though I'm talking about how to find great opportunities off market. It really has so much to do with it. And when a student comes into my program, the first thing we discuss is mindset. The first module of my course is mindset. Now, you want to set yourself up for success, then you got to work on what your thoughts are on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so with that being said, I have a mindset that says there's always great opportunities. In every market, there's always great opportunities. That's just how I think. And I don't want to underestimate to you that is key, right? I have been investing for 25 years in every kind of market, and I have an amazing track record. I am proud to say I have never lost any money. And I've gone from zero to being a multimillionaire. So it's worked for me. And I haven't always had the best mindset. I have had, sometimes I've got a little bit of a mindset that was working against me, but over the years now, I have really developed a very, very strong discipline and habits that help me create and keep a very positive mindset going forward. Okay, so that being said, how do I find off-market properties other than attracting them automatically with a great mindset? Okay, so here are some things that I like to do. And, if you want to grow and be changing your life and taking your life up to a new level of lifestyle and financial freedom, time freedom, health, wealth, great lifestyle of whatever that means to you, then you need to get yourself uncomfortable. In order to grow, in order to build your net worth, you need to personally grow, and you need to do that, you're going to have to start doing some things that you are not comfortable with. So when we're talking about finding great opportunities, here's where the uncomfortable stuff starts to come in. Door knocking. People do not want to go and knock on someone's door. They are scared to death. You really have to get over yourself, people. This is an amazing potentiality that you could find a great opportunity off market just by door knocking. So I'm not just suggesting you door knock on any door, but if you've been to my webinar, and if you want to come to my next webinar, it is going to be, I will put the link in the description of this presentation, but it's flippinggreatlife.com. And as I talk about in my webinar, you're gonna look in your area. It's certainly nice to work nearby where you live, because it's just so flipping great, right? To have that lifestyle of no commute. That's definitely what I do. Sometimes I just can walk a block and go to my job. So I love that. So if you just start I always say, just start where you're at. So go in your own area, on your own street even, and you're gonna look for the dog's breakfast, I call it. It's the mess, right? And I do talk all about this in my webinar and in my program. So you want to look for something that's a mess. This is what we do as flippers, right? We're going to fix something. We're going to add value. So if you're in your area, you're going to look at your area and look for the messes on the street. And they're pretty easy to pick out, right? Usually they're really unkept. And you can tell the grass doesn't get cut, the mail builds up. I can think of one right now in my neighborhood that I am so interested to get, and it's been like this for years. In fact, I did do this. I did knock on the door. It's many years ago. And it's still sitting there in the shambles that it is. Nobody ever answered the door because they're probably some kind of weirdo that doesn't come outside, most likely. And so anyway, this is the part where you do need to just not worry about what could happen when you knock on a door. What's the worst thing, right? You really have to get out of the worry of what could happen. I mean, the worst thing that really could happen is they say, no, we're not interested. You really have to get over yourself to do this. And once you do it, you have just faced a fear and you actually have grown. So kudos if you can go out there. In fact, I challenge you today to go out, find one of these dogs' breakfasts and knock on the door. I challenge you to do that. And if you do, come back to this video or this presentation and put a comment. Let me know that you did it, because you're the kind of person that I'm excited to help. and work with. And this is, I mean, this is an exercise in growth as much as anything, and growing yourself personally helps you to grow your net worth. Okay, so I love to hear from you, those of you that are ready, willing, and able to get yourself uncomfortable and knock on a door and face the consequences, whatever they were. So I have a story about one door. I actually was with one of my mentees. We had a meeting at actually I went to his restaurant because he had a restaurant, and I wanted to see what his restaurant was all about. So I went to meet him, and he was telling me about a property that was not that far away, like down the road. And he thought it was a really great opportunity. And he was like, well, what do we do? It's not on the market. So I said to him, let's just go knock on the door. He says, really? Like, we can do that? And I said, of course we can do that. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen, right? They shut the door on us. So we got in the car, and I followed him to the house. And we pulled into the driveway, and he was all a bundle of nerves. And I said, listen, it's not that big a deal, right? We're just not gonna knock on the door. And we went up to the door, and it was evening. It was dark when we were there, and the house was pretty much mostly in darkness. There was a little glimmer of light through the front door glass, but not much. So I had no idea if anybody was even home. It didn't look like there was anyone there. So I knocked on the door, and he was just on the edge of his seat, so to speak. And I said, just relax. It's going to be fine. And this elderly lady comes to the door, and she was really quite receiving, nice. She opened the door, and I said, hi, I'm Tracy, and I'm a realtor, because I am, and I said, I'm here with my client, and we just were really admiring your wonderful property, and we just decided to take a chance and just reach out to you and just see if there was any if you had any interest at all of possibly selling, or maybe if you're thinking of selling in the near future, and we'd be really quite interested in talking to you about that. And so what do you think she said? She said, no, I'm not interested. But that's okay, right? Because you're going to get probably, 20 no's before you're going to get a yes. And so just, count up the no's, right? Because within, let's say, the 20th door is going to be a yes, possibly. So you need to work on getting some no's. But you know what? It really helps you develop that courage. And when you get yourself resonating at a level of courage, like you're getting your energy level up from fear, anxiety, and like all those lower energetic emotions. Courage is just above sort of all of the sort of neutral, it's just above the neutral, which means that this is the place that you want to get to if you're already living in the worry and fear area of being anxious. And I lived down there in worry and fear and anxiety for many, many years. And I'll tell you, the personal development that I have done has changed all of that, and I don't live there anymore. In fact, I live up pretty high on the frequency chart of a lot of joy. I just have a lot of fun in my life now, and if you do get into my course, you'll get all the tools that I have used to transition my energy from being in that low grade fear-based place, which most of us are residing, by the way, and how I changed my energy and moved it way up the scale into that wonderful place, that flipping great place of joy. So very important how, like, you can start to see how your thoughts and your feelings really affect how amazing opportunities come into your life, and also just what kind of a rewarding life you're having. So that's one of my door knock stories. And also what I do is I generally find, like when I find a good property, and I usually knock on the door first, and if no one answers, then I write a handwritten letter stating pretty much what I would have said, which is, I'm interested in your property. It's very, very beautiful, and I really admire it, and I haven't been admiring it, for some time, and was wondering if there'd be any opportunity to potentially buy it from you. And I write that in a handwritten note so it doesn't look mass produced, and I sign it and I put my phone number down. It's very personal to a business degree, it's personal. And then I leave that in their mailbox. And this is actually how one of my projects came to fruition, was through that letter. And it did take about 1.5 years for them to finally call me, but they held on to that letter. And when they were ready, they reached out to me, and that was a deal that I ended up making 123% return on my investment and $2 million. So $2 million in profit. So these things are worth investing your time and energy in. And sometimes like that project took me 1.5 years to acquire. But when you plant enough seeds in whatever area you want to work, something is going to grow from those seeds, because that is nature, right? Nature is growth. And when you plant a seed and you put that idea into somebody's mind, when it comes time to sell, they're going to potentially remember, hey, this person was interested, and maybe their house they feel is going to be a difficult sale because of the condition it's in. And so as a real estate investor flipper, we're looking for those dogs' breakfasts. And so we're willing to buy those properties that some owners think, they're not very sellable. Maybe it's got a lot of mold in it, or fire damage. It's a crack house. I don't know. It could be so many different things. So these are opportunities not to be missed. And the other thing I do, and this is the third point. So the first one was I drive around, knock on doors that I think, good opportunities, good properties. The other one is I drop off letters to properties that I think would be good. And then the third thing is I like to do this land development called severance, and it is when you get a property big enough, you can divide it into several smaller parts. And this is a really amazing value add to any property. You create massive value and therefore massive profits. And that's actually the one I just mentioned to you, where I made $2 million and 123% return on my money. That was that property that I door knocked on and left a letter, and they called me 1.5 years later. That was one of these magical deals that I divided that property into two and built 2 houses. And that's one of the reasons why I made so much bloody money on that. It was just like flipping great. And the other great thing about off-market properties is that you can negotiate terms that are so favorable to you. So for example, on that property that I'm telling you that I made $2 million on, I didn't have to actually own the property while I was getting permits. So one of the conditions on the purchase of that property was that I would have a permit before I had to close on the property. So I went through all the permitting process first, not having to carry that property. So think about all the interest on a mortgage that I saved, not having to carry that property. And it took about a year to get the permit because I had to go through the municipal committee of adjustment, and then I had to go to the appeal board. It was a long process. So I did not have to pay for that property until I got my permit, and that saved me tons of money. Okay, really important. So how to structure a deal is, that's maybe another topic for another day, is how to structure a deal. That is so good and so key. And a lot of realtors, unfortunately, just aren't so creative when it comes to saving investors money. And so I'm very passionate. That's why I got my license in real estate, because I was not being supported the way I thought I should be. And so I'm even training a lot of realtors now on how to work with a real estate investor. Like what are the clauses and conditions on offers that are going to help a real estate investor so much. So here's what I really love to do. With regards to finding a property to divide into two, and by the way, I talk all about this in my book, Secret to Wealth 2. I actually co-authored this book with Brian Tracy, and in that book I discuss the method and how I go about doing the land division. But here's how it works, generally speaking, and this I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on how I do it. I go online and I go to the local municipality zoning maps, and these are public domain, so you should be able to get some kind of a zoning map, some kind of a lot map from your municipality. They're usually online, and you can actually start to study. This is how geeky I am. I study maps. I love maps, actually. I'm kind of crazy about maps. All kinds of maps. I love like topographical maps, zoning maps. I like road maps. Like just sort of a map kind of person, which is really weird. But I study maps. And so what I do is it's very, very simple and straightforward. When you're looking at a neighborhood, say you're, working in your own neighborhood, which I love to do, and I start to look at patterns of lots, and that here's the consistency of lot sizes on this street. Oh, but there's one outlier. Yeah, there's one outlier on that street, and it looks like a double size lot. That's my target. It's simple stuff. It's a visual thing. And then you can dig in deeper. Once you find one of these outliers, and sometimes when subdivisions were built, and I'm working in Toronto, Canada, which I'm working in central Toronto, which is an older neighborhoods like built in the 1920s. They were subdivisions at one point. Sometimes what happened was when an original owner bought one of those lots to build a house, they decided to buy two lots and combine them. And it's perfect for us as investors to find one of those double lots. And then I would target that lot, and I would go to the house, knock on the door, send a letter. I've done this a few times, and when I'm ready for my next project, I start to look at the maps, and I have a couple actually. They're always in the back of my mind, and then I approach the owner and see if they have any interest. So get curious, okay? Curiosity is one of the fuels of finding a great opportunity, okay? You need courage and curiosity, and those two things combined can find you literally millions of dollars. So I hope today's presentation was inspiring to you. I really encourage you to go out there, get your courage on today. Go knock on a door and leave me a comment under this video presentation. And I am excited to share more with you each and every week. So congratulations to those who actually took my challenge and went out today and knocked on a door. I want to hear all about it. So Take care. Good luck on that, and be brave, and you're going to grow. So I'm Tracy Fines, and this is the Flipping Great Life presentations, and I can't wait to share with you next time. So have a great day, everyone.